not a person should stand with a proper respect and should try to concentrate, be aware of where he is before whom he is standing, before whom he is davening. That way to daven with the right kiruv, we should be zechud the right kiruv and have lots of innocent. Previously, because of its importance, we mentioned it before we got to it. It should be mentioned again. Detail. And it says you're not allowed to sit within 4 ames. 4 ames is a standard distance which runs between 6 and 8 feet. You're not allowed to sit within 4 ames of one of the davening shmonesrei. Sitting means anywhere in a total radius of about 32 feet. In all 4 directions. In front of him, both sides, back of him, 8 feet in all 4 directions are forbidden territory. Within that radius, no one is allowed to sit. If the person sat there before, he was sitting already. And this person started shmonesrei, he got there first, then if he's behind him, it's okay. But in front of him, it's not permissible at all. He's davening already, but he was there before. Better still, the person would not sit behind him within 8 feet, aside in front of him, not to sit at all. This means, let's say a person is davening shmonesrei by that wall, facing here, not to stand in a direct line, even if you're 50 feet away, or even if it's in a forest, miles in front of him, not to stand blocking him on the next wall, no matter how far we be. It's the proper way. Well, to stand in front of him, this is all speaking about sitting. To stand in front of him, or to walk in front of him, then it's a different item. First, let's get that by sitting in general, if the person sitting is a very old man, a zokeh muflag, see some of these really elderly people, the late 80s, who can barely walk, by him sitting should be considered like standing. There's no reason to accuse him or to insist that he's doing wrong, that he stand up, because at his stage, there's no protesting his actions. He is what's known as an onus, completely against his will. He would say to you, I'll train you strength, and I'll gladly stand. You can't blame him. You cannot judge him in his condition. And one who's that very weak or old, that person, nothing should be said to him even to help him stand up. If the person who said sat there first, then this person, the Ravishas that came to him, so he has a right to insist that this is my property. My radius is my property. I sat down here first. You came into my property. Why should I stand up in my house, my property? He has a right to say it. But still, it is still fact. The person came without the shoes, without rights. Still fact is davening shmonesrei. You still should not be sitting. Though you are legally justified remaining sitting, you're still doing wrong in the sense of the moral sense. That person did wrong. It's your duty not to add crime to it. This, of course, refers only to a place where it's not an official shul. Where it's officially a shul, nobody can say this is my place, this is my area. This is an area for davening. So then if somebody came to the daven, you have no justified right, even legally, to remain sitting. So the final word is that if somebody is davening shmonesrei, there's no way that a person could sit in front of him or even on the side of him. Even if the person himself is davening, he's about to start shmonesrei, he wants to sit until he's ready to start. Once the people start davening, you must stand up. Don't wait to sit there. That's sitting. Now, walking in front of all the Davis Shnesri, and hear the same eight others, then you are not allowed to walk in front of them. To the side and behind them, it is permissible. But in the Zohar Kodesh too, it should be tried to be avoided. He said once there's a big problem. You want to go through the shul, people say it's restaurant, you want to get to your place. It's a very delicate item, and people do it. It's just that if it's possible to avoid it, it's much better. Which means come on time to shul. Don't come on time. This happens a different time. To a nice restaurant, you got to walk in front of all people down this restaurant. It's a little unpleasant. To stand in front of him is actually forbidden too, just as walking is forbidden. If you are not davening Shnesra also, if you are davening Shnesra, it's like one person, it's one group. If you finish Shnesra and there's somebody behind you within Dalet Amos, you cannot walk back the 3 steps, because you're walking in front of someone davening Shnesra. So here's a case where you're literally imprisoned. Imprisoned because you cannot move back those 3 steps. You have to wait until you finish this Shnesra before you can walk back 3 steps. And as long as you are imprisoned there, not of your own volition, when you have finished this Shnesra, though you have not walked back 3 steps, you're free, then you are free to say anything, daven, or say any words, posek with davening, not with talking. But with any kind of davening besides Amen Baruch L'Shmei, you're also not saying anything else. That's if you have finished completely, the one behind you is still standing Shnesra. According to the Zohar Kodesh, we said that you cannot walk in front of, the sides of a person. Front of is the Halacha. But the Zohar Kodesh adds that we have doctrine, particular about the sides of a person standing Shnesra, just like the front. In all these cases, it's best, if possible, to show a humbleness. That's what this actually shows, and a respect for the idea of Shnesra. Those davening, and to avoid this walking or standing. Especially, above all, especially a person should see to it. Because walking by, you go to your place, these things you could see. You can understand it's an emergency sort of. And a person should sit when others are davening Shnesra. That's inexcusable. There's no way that a person could condone such an action. Unless people are davening here, he's sitting way back there, it's different. It's if he's davening. No way he can sit while davening. If he is not part of the million at all, and if he is learning, sitting and learning anything at all, or saying Tehillim, something like that, then if he's behind these people, certainly it is permissible. In front of them, on the sides, he's not allowed to sit, he's not part of the million. Back of them, the Davening Shnesra is allowed to sit if he's not part of that million, if he's learning. He's not going to daven the Kavan of the others. Very briefly, what we should be kind with the Halacha Yishtei. Persons cannot daven because he's incapacitated. For example, if he's drunk, he's literally intoxicated where he cannot speak coherently before a regular person. It's forbidden to daven. If he was really drunk and he davened, his tefillah is like a korban that was posek. Korban is posek, is not mixing it. So he has to daven over again when he becomes sober. If by that time his tefillah was gone already, it was too late to daven that tefillah, he should daven twice the next tefillah. That's a person chas v'sholom he's drunk, or he actually loses out on that tefillah. It's a very serious a sinful act to get drunk in the first place. And we see that besides for that is that he loses out on davening above all. Loses out on his tefillah. You can imagine how a major crime this is considered. But that's only one person himself losing out tefillah. The person is chas v'sholom gaining tefillah of a whole million, but not the ordinary million. Million that's based on the illumination of Elohim. What kind of a misdeed, what kind of a serious mistake that is. As big as he's a chus. Being part of the million. And being a tenth one to make up the million. And the chus of the whole million upon his shoulders, his record. That's how big chas v'sholom is the other way. The whole million. The expensive is on that person. This is the, up to now we had the day of for that straight. Now, he came to temporarily, he stopped to get the dinner on certain females in the foundation for that straight, depending upon the season. For instance, Rashi was said in winter time, then it until summer, and Talmud Bavly said in the winter, the same bracha in the summer. Yama v'yavai is said on Yom Tov. Adina was said fast days. Alisa was said for Purim Chanukah. We'll take up each one of these individually, meaning that not just when you say it, but what happens to the person forgets, does not say it, so on. Each one has a different set of dinim. We'll take this up next time. Next time we have a minute. Begins Tfilas Musaf of Shmini Atzeres. 8th day of Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres, just before Musaf, before the Kahal, the people start davening the Shulesrei, the Shabbos or someone at the Shul announces, first he calls out very loud, Menachem Mendel Schneerson. This heralds the beginning of the kiruv of saying these words. If it was not announced, Shabbos is something you don't call out loud, you're not supposed to say it until it is announced, which means it will be announced by the Chazan if he repeats his Shemona. That's how important the announcement is. You cannot say it without hearing first the announcement. If a person is sick, he's davening the Yechidus, he cannot hear the announcement, so he should wait to daven Musaf until he is sure that the Shabbos has announced it, and he's davened it already, and there's no doubt left in his mind. After the earth was Musaf on, it is said straight through till the first day of Pesach. First day of Pesach at Musaf, again, the Chazan announces, rated Hatol, and from that time on, he stopped saying Hashem Baruch. Again, it must be the announcement on the part of the Chazan to say, to announce the call out Menachem Mendel Schneerson. Without that pre-announced, without those words heard by the cow, they cannot change what they said until now. If it was failed to be announced, for example, all Ashkenaz shuls, they do not say Menachem Mendel Schneerson, they just leave out Moshe during the summertime, so it's impossible to announce anything. You can't announce silence. So therefore, in their cases, they must say Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Musaf, Pesach also, and until they hear the Chassid repeating the Shemona Esrei. They hear that he leaves out the words Moshe Ruach. Then they start, they start saying without Moshe Ruach. Baruch Hashem, we haven't got those problems. We say Menachem, and it's announced, and it's clear for us. It's interesting, though, that this Shara is brought, whether even for us, do we say, remember a person will say, that even for us, the Chassid does not announce Menachem. It is the rule that everyone is supposed to say Moshe Ruach for Musaf also. When the Chassid later on says Menachem, he repeats Esrei, then we start saying it for Mincha. It's a place that the Kutei Halachos and Arizal says that. So it's very strange, it would seem to us, that he's poskening like the Ashkenaz really. There are some who are led on to believe that. However, we find in a different place, Rosenfeld himself says that the custom really is that we say Menachem for Musaf, that is the final psak. Musaf, Pesach, we say Menachem. If a person did not say Menachem, if he did not say Moshe Ruach, for instance, in the wintertime, you have a whole set of laws. If he did not say Moshe Ruach, there was a set of laws here which do not pertain to us, because with us, if he did not say Moshe Ruach, what did he say instead? By mistake, he said Menachem. When you say Menachem in the winter, you're Yetzer. You're still covered. So for these 6 months of winter, we have no problem at all. You forget, you don't forget, you say, whatever you say is good. Our problem is in the summertime. Summertime, there's not only a question you have to say Menachem, there's also that you're not allowed to say Moshe Ruach. So if by mistake he said Moshe Ruach in the summertime, then he has to say Shemona over again. Depends when he reminded himself. If you remind yourself before you get to the end of that bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem B'chaya Aresim, before you say Baruch Atah Hashem, you can still go back to Moshe Ruach, back to the beginning of this bracha. But once you finish the second bracha, Chaya Aresim, and you have said Moshe Ruach in one place, you must go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. No things go back to the beginning of the second bracha, because the first 3 brachas are considered like one unit. You can't split them up. So once there's something wrong with one of the brachas, you got to go back to the very beginning. So the event of a person who said, or who did not say, who said Moshe Ruach instead of Menachem in the summertime, he must say over the Shemona Esrei, even if he is in doubt. That's for the first 30 days. The same rule applies to all things that we add, Talmud Bavly and so forth. If ever in doubt, did I say it or not, you must say it over during the first 30 days. If it's something that you did not, you don't say it for 30 days, 6 months, you're in doubt, you say it over again. If it's a day when there's a kiruv. One last item is if he says Moshe Ruach in the summertime, we say that he must say the Shemona Esrei again. But if he says it the night of Shmini Atzeres, he's supposed to start saying it in the afternoon of Shmini Atzeres. But if he says it the night before, when it's still summer, and as long as it's on Shmini Atzeres himself, though there was no announcement, though there's no chiyuv, he is wrong, but it does not say the Shemona Esrei over again, because that's the day in which we start saying Moshe Ruach, so he is Yetzer with it then. Tomorrow we'll take up the Talmud Bavly, not to make mistakes in davening, either in Talmud or concentration. Too much bigger stuff. Today's shiur one of more greater importance, because today we want to cover a review of the whole, review the entire Seder HaTfilah, the order of Tfilah, from the beginning right through to the climax and then to the end. According to the Israeli Kodesh Arizal, we know always these are repeated innumerably, that there are 4 worlds, considered 4 worlds corresponding to the 4 letters of Hashem's name. These 4 worlds again and again are Abiyah. That's the bottom world is Asiya. Asiya is this world of action, this world of the material. Yitzira. Yitzira is the world of the spiritual, the angels. Bria, the world of the throne. Atzilus, the is that which is above all, far above anything that's conceivable. Now this, the tefillahs themselves, the purpose of the tefillah is to elevate all the worlds, one by one. They shall reach a top level. Even this low world, lowest world of all, should reach a top level of Atzilus. That's why we say always that the carbon is made to bring the Jewish parts to Hashem. The carbon is also made to bring the elements together. The containers is the most important, most potent of all the carbonas, because the containers pertains to the element Asiya, and it reaches up to the element Atzilus. So the containers is the most important of all the carbonas, most powerful of all. But how this is done, the Arizal says there are Rosenfeld brings very much in detail. Look at Halachas, there's these points. These all says that this is done the Asiya and the Amina, the action and the words. Element Asiya is called the element of the tumors. The klipa is the worst type of tumors possible. All the klipas fall, husks, shells. That is the tumor fall into this world. So the bottom. Like Leha Yerdes Lovas, this is called the world of death. Lowest to it. So here you get to clear away this tumor and elevate this world into the world of the spiritual. You need action, you need words. The tefillah, corresponding to this Asiya, is from Matayvu, you get up in the morning, till Baruch Shalom. That's the tefillah corresponding to Elam Asiya. That's why there you have the containers itself starting from Elam Asiya to bring it up. The Asiya, the action part that corresponds to this, is called the keys. Person prepares himself to get rid of what's the worst tumor? The waste matter. The person purifies himself by getting rid of his waste matter. Then he says the first Menachem Mendel Schneerson, and that way has cleared the Elam Asiya. Waste is the tumor of this world. In other words, even in this material world, there is still waste in this world itself. So the action of purifying himself, that's the first thing in the morning. This is the first thing. Purify yourself before you can go down. There was some Chassidim, the Arizal was very didactic against these Chassidim. Surprisingly, because they were not always the Chassidim were ones who said they have to be like a Malach. Malach is pure, it's transparent, and there's no drop of waste. This is true facts. In fact, to this day, there are still certain ones who are that wily didactic that they would take laxatives in the morning and want to be 100% pure, just like Malach, like angels. No waste matter in this world. Before they go to stand before Hashem and daven. Arizal didactic and said that the Torah was not given to Malachim, and a person is not a Malach, and this is considered dangerous to do that every day, and it's also considered a waste of time, because these Chassidim, for a small item like this, they will lose the Zman, Kriyashma, plus it's going too far. In any event, there is still the mitzvah of the kiyas. Get the Yofarikiyas. That's the action of the lowest part. Next one, Elam HaYetzirah. Next world. Yetzirah, Baruch Sholah, 2. Yishtabach, 3 Yishtabach. It's 1 bracha. It's just 2 bracha. This is the world of Malachim. Malachim who sing Shira before Hashem. That's why you have all the chapters of Tehillim, which are the songs in Eretz Yisrael. These songs correspond to the songs of the Malachim. This is the Elam HaYetzirah, which in action is represented by the tzitzis. This tzitzis, that's very spiritual because the person is mishatef. The Haba, the neshamas are wrapped around it in a special type of form. And that's when the person dies. And when he dies, he leaves this world. What does he use to wrap himself with? A talis. So mitzvah tzitzis corresponds to the Elam HaYetzirah, the angelic world. Third one, Elam HaBriyah, known as Elam HaKisei. Kisei is a chair on a throne. That is the tefillah from Baruch Yetzer Oed to Da'al Yisrael. That's the world of the throne, where in its place you have the next kind of kedusha is a tefillah shel yad, tefillah worn on the hand. This corresponds to the action of the throne. That's why, according to the Zaynik, but it's Arizal, and the Sfadim will follow this. The person puts on tefillah shel yad, seated. Others, according to Halacha, put it on standing. But this is one of the perplexities, one of the mysteries of all time, why we put it on standing. Well, we haven't adopted or followed the path of the Zaynik Arizal as we usually did. But we cannot change this because there's no doubt that the Arizal himself put it on standing too, because the Arizal was not misakesh. He did not want to go against the trend, the tide. That whole section of Europe, known as the followers of Ashkenaz, accepted it on law, and those who held it should be put on standing. In any event, the point is that tefillah shel yad corresponds to the Elam HaBriyah, third highest world on the throne. Then comes the highest Elam HaTzilus, that's already above even the throne. Kaviyachol, that's the Shulchan itself. That already is the highest for the crown of Hashem. It's still Shodosh. Now, what happened during this time? As we dominated did this, we raised the Elam HaSiyah, the first world until Baruch Sholah, one level above, to the Elam HaYetzirah. Then we picked up this powerful work with the Baruch Sholah till Yishtabach, tzitzis. He elevated on both these worlds into Elam HaBriyah. They merged from Elam HaBriyah. The Kriyas Shema, Yitzris, Shulchan Yad, we merged all 4 and raised it up to the Elam HaTzilus. Elam HaTzilus, we have now all 4 together. Now, of course, this is Mashiach time. These will have a complete ticket. That's what it's going to be. Meanwhile, this is only temporary. During Tefillah, that's how long these worlds stay there. They slowly recede back. So, this is continued on through the Chazoras Hashatz, when the Chazal repeats the Shemona Esrei. This is why Arizal, meaning was that Chazoras Hashatz, he stood exactly the same as the Shemona Esrei. Thus he stood with his eyes closed, with his feet together. That's how he stood with the Chazal Shemona Esrei. Arizal knew, he saw the worlds as they moved. He knew that during that period, interim, there was no change. The Elam HaTzilus was kept until maintained through the Chazoras Hashatz, through Tachnut, until Ashrei. Arizal says the key here is, the key is that always transferring from one world to the next. And going back again too, because Ashrei means that now the worlds go back to Rabbi. Between each world transfer, there's always a Kaddish in between this transfer. Except when you go to Atzilus, you don't need a Kaddish there. That's when you go. But going from Messiah to Bria, you can have a Kaddish before Haidu. If there's ever coming, there's a Kaddish regularly. Going from Tzina to Bria, you have a Kaddish before Baruch. Going from we said before, especially you have the Kaddish because that's so holy, no Kaddish necessary. Going back to Bria, it's after Tachud before. It's a very deep, serious topic. Of course, a person must understand, must feel, must be magish, must recognize the kedusha of tefillah, which is so great that all the worlds dependent upon it. And that's the feeling and understanding we need the meaning of the Gemara. The Gemara said, the things that reach up to the top, top of the worlds, top of all that is tefillah. People of the Zalzel, people step on this, they mock it, they belittle this holiest of all items. So they belittle, they make little of it, they disregard the kiruv, like the tzibur, Tzilas Bisman, killing on time, aware daven, and so forth. This, where a person should fly, give his life for it, he's begged to, he became his mitzvahs and he neglects it, he abuses it. It's a privilege, it's exclusive, people are completely neglectful of it. They step on it. This is done even by people who are very learned. They don't say they're tzadikim, big tzadikim. They mean well, and they are really tzadikim in tiyum, and yet it comes to the Zman of Tefillah, Zman Kriya Shema, they daven late. They get up late, they daven late. They give excuses that they are so holy, they're bigger than angels, there are some tzaddikim who even give, I wouldn't think when I say the Talmud say about their Rebbe is so great, so holy, that he is above the whole concept of time. The time is made for ordinary mortals. He's above time. He's above time. How can he be governed by time? It's too late, too early. There's time not doing him. He rules time. So time can't say to him it's early or late. He makes time. They don't say these are all mistakes, they're errors, because nobody is above time as far as the mitzvah goes. Nobody can say that I'm above time and effort to make this. Pesach Seder or Chanukah. Therefore, you're not the Chanukah, you can't be above time when it comes to mitzvahs. Mitzvahs are only at certain times. You cannot daven shachar at night. And some of these tzaddikim, above time, daven shachar past his man, daven Yishma later. The Menachem said it's simply a mistake. There's no possible excuse or explanation for it. And big time they make a mistake. Now, this Shabbos I told a couple of boys in my house a story, and they will be very indulgent in hearing it again, because a story that's a little bit off color, so-called. Not really. Just that it's very precious to me, because I heard the story when I was very, very young. Very young means I could barely understand it at that time. Must have been about 5, 6, 7. I don't recall exactly, but I recall I was sitting in a seminar surrounding a lot of old men with white beards. The head was my grandfather on the shoulder, who was one of the biggest tzaddikim at our time. He was the biggest London at that time, because he had all the big rabbis came to him for a special shiur. He went to the Shas 7 times. He goes to Shas 7 times with the Shunim and Acharim. It's a big, you don't find it nowadays, this generation. Father show was there, and they were all truths. I think the discussions ran around a pity of the battle, controversy between Chassidut and Misnagdim. So, Misnagdim means also against Chassidut. Chassidut were those davening with fire, and they dance, and they wear a girdle. It's like that, they cold fish, certain word, they got to sing in English, so they sing, they sing, they'll sing it with them. If you ever notice in the stagnant yeshivas, there's 1, 2, they use the same tune, but Tisha B'Av and the Simchas Torah. Straight through. One single tune, you can use that, we use it at funerals. But as Simcha, you can't get out of it. But what do they call themselves? The Chassidut are called Chassidut, and we call this, they call them the London. Yeah, the London, you got to stay, you said, Murr, but I'm Tato, Chassidut go for Tzima. Blessed are said words, they call themselves the London. We know how to learn. The words had a big shadow already, Mustagil, Stigma Mustagil. They were arguing and twisting and turning and trying to find it. And Nosson was sitting there quietly. So they asked Nosson, he came out and he told them the whole thing they had to know, where it was and what it was about, explained the whole depth of the cash of the tenants. He looked at it, he's a chassid. That was better than all these, this is the biggest London at that time. So looked out and said, we are called Chassidut, they call London. They are called London learners, but we wasn't know how to learn. Chassidut. That's the error in interpretation. These, this story that I heard then, I think it was my father who was sitting next to it. I asked him to interpret as we was going on because they were telling stories of Chassidut, stagnant, but this one was really a limiting story. And why the interpretation, I don't know, because I spoke Yiddish better than English then. But that's what they injected a lot of Hebrew words into this. It was told by Arizal, my grandfather told a different woman next at the head of the table. And it was said in all seriousness, of course it's an off-color joke, but it's said in all seriousness as far as the moral of the story. They consider it true. This is Tikuney Zohar as be tzadikim. Told by tzadikim, definitely. And it's worth repeating and it's worth remembering. I've told it before many years ago. Sometimes I didn't come out with it here in years, but it's remained indelibly in my memory because it's very true. He told the tzadik, whoever it was, that said it, told about the case of a chassid and a misnagid over the stomach. They came before the Bezdin Shamala, put on trial. Bezdin Shamala, very stern. So when stands in front of them, brought to the biggest pachad, at least there. Big of fear. The person standing from the Bezdin Shamala that it's going to get ahead of itself. Tremendous fear. This chassid came first. He was shooting, standing there. Looked down at him, you. Yes, you notice. Your record shows not so good. What are you, a chassid? Yes, I hope so. What do you hope so? Look at your record. Messed up. Torah, it's higher, tree of life, Torah, it's very little here. Where's your learning Torah? He said, I'm sorry, I tried to put my kavod into what I was doing. I was too busy. You were busy? You couldn't want to say you were busy? What were you doing? Well, in the morning I got up, I went to make the kiyos first, make sure my body was clean. I spent a lot of time with that. I went to daven, and I spent a lot of time with davening, concentrating, and he peeled the davening. So I had a little time after I read, I said about a little Shulchan. That was it. So I'm sorry, but no good. You didn't spend enough time with Torah. I said, I wanted to. I was trying to make it ready. You make it ready, huh? All right. You see that? Those lights stay escalated. You didn't have to learn Torah when you were alive. You were preparing yourself for Torah. Go and take it in and sit down and learn. Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. Zoomed off inside. Hope they can learn with that. Next. This was walks up. Yes, sir. You. What's your racket? There you go. From a lump. Yeah. Let's see. Pages and pages. You really learned, huh? What else you got? What else I got? I don't bother with small stuff. I spend time waking up in the morning, opening a learn. I learn. At night, Late at night, I learned. Way into the night. I overslept in the morning, so I learned so late. Oh, big shot. A lot of pages of learning. I asked, what else do you have? He said, what else should I have? Anything better than Teddy you can tell me about? You, Bezdin? Slow Alec. What do you do in the morning? In the morning? First thing on my mind, he said when I got up, Tato. That's the thing. Get up in the morning, I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom, didn't have time to daven, nothing. 1, 2, 3, sat down and learned, and that was it. And the rest of the day you learn, right? Yeah. Right. Sit. You. Yeah. You learned when you were there, right? No time to go to the bathroom. To the bathroom with you. Smagnum, to the bathroom. That's what happens to the person feel power. So therefore, Baruch Hashem, we're on the right side of the track, but I can be little. As I said, it's a long time, but the point is it came from the great tzaddikim that I knew in the past. Schus of Yagar Aleinu, which means to the kind that Rosenfeld said. Rosenfeld said that they said about Hasidim that they are lax when it comes to learning Torah. Maybe said about Mishnagim they're lax when it comes to davening. Torah and Tefillah both must go together. But they Chazal said about each one. That's not said. But we receive from Rabbi Arizal the cream of both. We receive Arizal. The very first Torah, the first paragraph of the Tikuney Zohar. The Arizal begins the sefer was that Torah and Tefillah go together. And one, they're united. So we receive the cream of both. Of the Chassidut and the Mishnagim, we have the combination of both. For us, we know that Tefillah and Torah and Tefillah. Torah in the middle is sandwiched by Tefillah on both sides. That's what we would couple. Which is there to show it. We learn, because true followers of Arizal, we came to learning. I knew some. Rav of Breslov, for example, was a tzadik Oyer Medoida, tzadik the tzadik Ha'emes, this third, this past third, and Tefillah, Baal Meifas, and Tzidkis, and everything. There was none like him. And yet in learning, he was far superior. This wasn't done at the expense of learning. In learning, in witnessing, he was a good better than anyone in the entire world, as far as I know that, because there were many times that a big shilas fought out in the world. I won't mention names, but I saw cases that those recognized as the greatest guide in the world came to him when they had difficulty. Even the bigger these has difficulty to come. No mention a name, but certain names that are outstanding, like the top crowd of the world, around the wonderful world, came to Menachem Mendel Schneerson during his time. So, you go back further up, Menachem Mendel Schneerson is really Tikuney Zohar. You just have to look at his sefer, you'll see. The sefer is marvelous area. There's no possible imagination that a human mind can be masik so much, to be that deep, that great. Take the Arizal stories that the tie, for instance, the first Torah, the show, the first chapter of Arizal Sefer, the show, and Arizal said that my Sefer contains the whole Torah. Each chapter, he took the first chapter and showed how the whole Torah is in there. All the 4 Shulchan. There's a special Sefer showing how this first Torah has the entire 4 Shulchan. Plus, there's other beautiful pluses. There's greatest, especially ties in all these things. They come over to the Arizal Sefer. So we see that the Arizal studied the like that Nosson, of course, Nosson, look at the halachas, are definitely heavily made. It's actually killed. You can't call that by any token of a level of those days greater. This goes back to the time of the Talmud. So we see that the Arizal taught that it's not just the davening, it's the learning, it's combining these two precious items. Baruch Hashem Rosenfeld, which means to continue davening and learning together. So we see the coming of Mashiach, the which means Chabal, the horse, and Yisrael, the English, then we gave you for today also, so just 2 minutes, you get it, that's it, for the clock. Erev Rosh Chodesh is called Yom Kippur Cotton. It was yesterday. Shulchan is a special Seder that Tefillah said. In Arizal, you see what the Seder that Tefillah is. Something like Yom Kippur to the Ilah. Special Tefillah that is said in Arizal for Shema Yisrael, Olav Shein Kavod, Hashem Roli Kim. Very arousing type of Tefillah, arousing, real Tshuva. That's why they finish off the month with complete Tshuva for that. It's a small Yom Kippur because it covers for a month instead of for a year. That day, all these sins of the entire month are forgiven. That's why we have the special soyer, the Chatos, special cover, Rosh Chodesh, which is called Zman Kapara L'chol Tadosim, time for Kapara, time for forgiveness. It is a mitzvah because of the fact that Rosh Chodesh is a Yom Tov. Remember we had the story with the child that Elisha Levi brought back to life. So the mother wanted to go see Elisha Levi, and her husband asked her, "Where are you going?" It isn't Rosh Chodesh or Shabbos, Yom Tov. It's neither Rosh Chodesh or Yom Tov today. Which means that Rosh Chodesh and Yom Tov, just as in Yom Tov is a mitzvah to seek to visit a Rebbe, that's how Rosh Chodesh too. So we see that Rosh Chodesh and Yom Tov are exactly the same level of Kedusha, Kabel, like going to the Beis HaMikdash. This is the mitzvah Yom Tov, the Beis HaMikdash, Rosh Chodesh too. Rosh Chodesh is a Yom Tov because it's a bigger Yom Tov for women. Women are restricted to work that day, men are not. But a Yom Tov it definitely is. So, since it is a Yom Tov, it is only fitting that a person should try to show it. If the Simchas Yom Tov is only, the Gemara says there's no such way of showing Simcha except by meat meal instead of dairy. Have a meat meal instead of dairy, that is a mitzvah of Simchas Yom Tov. If possible, you go out and get a kosher king salami sandwich or something like that, a hot dog, chicken sandwich. This, of course, the Sunnah Rosh Chodesh we did last night. Not the Chach today, before Mincha. And if it comes out on Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, you have anyhow Shabbos meal, so it's even within. You should still add one item, one more delicacy to show that it's Rosh Chodesh. So important is Rosh Chodesh. We should be zeichet to the Beis HaMikdash, to bring our kavodas to the Beis HaMikdash. We discussed the Bilam of Moshe Feinstein and Goshen, which we said. And that, of course, is in the second bracha. Second bracha, which is called Gevulos. First one is called Avos, which is Chesed. Second is Gevulos. Chaya HaMesim, Mashiach Ruach. All these things require Gevulos. And the third bracha, Kedushos, is Defenus, Yaakov Avinu. And then, that's the end of the first brachos. The opening brachos, which is the same in every Shemona Esrei. No Shemona Esrei doesn't have those exactly, except that in the road you have additional tefillah put in before Melech HaKadosh. They begin there, the brachos of the soyas, the middle brachos. The first three are brachos haidos, praise to Hashem. Then we have the 12 brachos in the middle, which are please. Thank Hashem, spell Hashem for these items. First one of those brachos is Atachaydei, which is the bracha for tefillah for Chachma, Bina, Badas. Because before we start to ask for anything else, we first must have seichel how to use it. What's the use of a person is given a weapon which he can accomplish a lot, he gain victory, he doesn't have the seichel how to use it, what good would it do to him? So before we start to either spell for Torah, or for Tefillah, or for R Nosson, we must ask first for seichel. Very delicate item, seichel. That's why it is said that they once listened to Rav Rosenfeld very closely to see which part of the Shulchan essay he was most covered on, he spent most time on. It was on this bracha. He asked for his chachma. Rosenfeld would ask for chachma. First of what we would say, we would have one infinite fraction of his chachma. He would say, you might as well omit the bracha, omit the tefillah, because it means what? You reach the top. You reach tachlis idea. Rosenfeld did that tachlis idea. He got to the Sheli Neda, he knew how little he actually knew. Because, in fact, how can we say about a great tzaddik and a tzaddik chemist that he knows very little? The ratio, the answer is simple. The biggest tzaddik, biggest that a person could reach is to literally know that he knows nothing. Now, Arizal says that every person can say that. He smiles like, I know nothing. Finished. That means I'm the smartest person in the world. Peak of wisdom is to know you know nothing. Get a person who says, well, that's for that. I know nothing at all. That's my knowledge at zero. That person is the Chacham Shabbayim. Then it says that there's tachlis hayidiyah, tachlis of knowledge, then the highest degree of actual knowledge, which is achieved when the person realizes he knows nothing. There's a tachlis of lack of yidiyah, that's also nothing. There's two kinds of nothings, but there are two extremely different ends of the sphere. A person, tzaddik, who reaches that point of knowing nothing, he knows nothing, that was reached between them. What's the idea of knowing nothing? He is to know, to understand that Hashem is infinite. And if you take anything compared to infinity, it's zero. Anything compared to infinity, then how much, what number you'll give? Give it a million zeros with a one in front of it. It's an inconceivable number, and it's still zero compared to infinity. So he measures his knowledge compared to heaven. He knows, he understands that heaven, he understands what infinity is, therefore it's not. This is why it's tzaddikim of the scholars for chachma, more chachma, and they keep on getting more. And they know always that there's still an infinite amount to keep going. That's what's special about Kedeg. When you say something which is eternal, doesn't it become tiresome? And it says that it's infinite. There's always more and more, and with all the more and more there is, there's still more and more. There's no end to it. Still more and more new things. Old things to go over, you get tired of it. There's something new. There's something new. That's the bracha Tefillah Tachilin, or in that Tefillah, the wording is Chaveinu Ve'itcha. There's two says Deya Bina V'Haskel, Chachma Bina V'Das. It's best to say both. If you're forced to say what you want, for some reason, you're in a hurry, you've not enough time this month, and any words you say, Chachma Bina V'Das between the two. If it's possible to say all 6 words, you're better off, because with more seichel, you can't do any harm. Again, it's a very delicate item, seichel. Second bracha is the bracha for Teshuva and Torah. This way, the Arizal says that the key, true Teshuva, key to serving Hashem is through Torah. A person really wants to serve Hashem. He can't do it without studying Torah, because he is an empty vessel, empty keli. I'm putting it in, keep the million. The pit is empty, there's no water in it, so unless you cannot have any nourishment from it. First, in order to get to Avodas Hashem, let's first have Torah. That's why the Tefillah is always Hashem Eloheinu Secher. Hashem return us to the Torah first, and then we can look at Eloheinu Secher. Then bring us close to the Avodah. Through what? Through Teshuva. He is still through Teshuva. Tshuva means bring us to you. Shneinu is Masecha, Shneinu Rachma Teshuva. Esteemed. So you have the Tefillah Slach Lanu, Tefillah Tapara. Also, before you go any further, then Ve'inu B'Yadenu. And here, of course, the bracha is different than the one before Shemona Esrei. So there you say Baruch Atah Hashem Go'al Yisrael, and you say Baruch Atah Hashem Go'al Yisrael. There is the past tense, because that's praise. Here it's a tefillah pleading for Kula. We say Go'al Yisrael. Should you redeem us now? The process of taking us out of us now. There is tefillah for the four shligma, the Menachem Mendel Schneerson. You have twice. Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Ashinu V'Shegi, Halacha Shligma. Either than Halacha Shligma, which means the two types of the four. The four is Nefesh and the four is Aguf. It's supposed to be responsible for both. The person is sick, is responsible for a cure. He shouldn't have to go to doctors or medicines. At the same time, he's smart, he knows that if the body is sick, it's only because the neshama is sick too. So the responsible for the force on nefesh, the force on aguf will come automatically. Once the nefesh is cured, the force on aguf comes. The person is responsible for this type of four. The next Orech Halinu deals with the tefillah of the same Talmud Bavly, the tefillah of Shalas Motor, which is different than Moshe Feinstein, because there you have the statement that this is the time for rain, or the praise, Shevach. Here you have the actual tefillah or Shaila. Shaila is you ask for it, the same, give. That's why this has a specific timing for asking the same Talmud Bavly. Then at Yisrael, it is on the 7th day of Cheshvan. 7th day of Cheshvan allows, those days would allow those who came to visit Beis HaMikdash, allowed them to return home if they lived far away from the Beis HaMikdash. Whereas in Chutz La'aretz, the time is extended because we don't need rain that soon. Energy soil, which is at a higher level, a higher plane, needs rain faster than we do, so they must follow area. Thus, the shadow for rain is much later than that, and it probably 60 days after the season begins. It's the set established time. The problem is, the person that travels there to sell it back during that time has the problem of which word to be followed. Of course, the shows him his power as in the place where he is, no matter how long or how short he stays there. What happens if he makes a mistake in this? We'll discuss the rest of the bit of Gemara Shem, which means to make no mistakes, to have the honest, and to have our tefillahs answered the whole approach to the